Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boosted Boilon here for another recap video on Saturday to go over this account and talk to all of you new and mid-game players out there about what I'm up to and how far that I've managed to get in the last week since last Saturday on this account. Today, we have hit level 60, which is a huge milestone actually for the account and just in general, because now I've got Cosmic Crucible unlocked and thankfully, I've got Blitz Sim unlocked because all of you know, well, anyone with a newer account knows that manual blitzing is just complete and utter garbage, which is great actually ahead of the Monday Cosmic Ghost Rider event. But we'll be talking about that more in tomorrow's video where we'll be going over the event details and math related to Cosmic Ghost Rider. So look forward to that. Anyways, today we're going to be going over all of the things that I've been doing over the last week, what I'm preparing for, and how my roster shift has changed over the last week as well. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Now, I'm just going to start here at Cosmic Crucible. I literally just unlocked this. And so what are my plans now that Boosted Boilon is in Cosmic Crucible? Absolutely nothing. I'm just going to leave this here the way it is. And if the matchmaking is favorable, I'll use some of my teams to beat rooms. Because the more rooms that you clear, the more Crucible credits that you'll get, just from that alone. And whether I win or lose, I'll collect some stuff, right? Like, honestly, the competition of Cosmic Crucible isn't going to kick in for quite some time for newer players because you need the levels, but the matchmaking is kind of weird too. So you probably won't even land in the right spot and for a little while. So I'm not expecting anything crazy to happen out of this. We'll talk about buy priorities for the store though in a little while. Now, I just wanted to raise that. Now, one thing that I wanted to talk about again is for people who have boosted accounts. When I hit level 60, I literally this is literally my XP bar up here. Like, I hope you're looking. This is like a 75% boost through the level. Now, prior to level 60, it was more like a 30% XP boost. So it wasn't as significant as it is here at level 60. Now, I was getting about, I would say, after about 50, it slowed down a little bit, and I was getting about maybe a level a day. And I think I'm still getting roughly a level a day or a day and a half because I'm missing about 2,300 XP, which honestly, now that I have ISO 8s unlocked as well, this is about probably just over a day's worth of XP to get to 61. So that's significant. Like, you're cutting down a level from 4 to 5 days to like 1 and a bit. So yeah, the boost really ratchets up like post 60, and I probably will be at 65 before next Saturday, and we'll be having something else to talk about because the epic campaigns will unlock then. Dark Dimension 1, and also the Scourges and Trials. So some really exciting updates that's going to be coming probably next weekend more so than this weekend. And then Real Time Arena, which unfortunately is also the RTA Pass, which has some characters, especially Starbrand's upcoming to be in the RTA Pass that doesn't unlock until 64. And I guess I'll have that unlocked eventually, but it will be kicked in a little while. So I'll have to catch up with that probably. Now, as far as everything else goes, I'm actually really surprised at how well my alliance has been able to do so far, or at least me and my alliance have been able to do in these events. For Daemonic Origins, which was ongoing right now this past week, I basically cleared most of what I wanted to do. Like, I may not hit milestone 15, but I managed to get the event item. And given how early this account is like less than 3 weeks old, I'm really, really surprised. The Dawn of Time, I'm also doing pretty well here too. I managed to get, all the additional character shards for the most part. We got Sunspot and Forge unlocked. Forge I did get unlocked through a lucky Mega Orb, and we'll talk about that and where all of those are coming from. And even Machines of War, this event where I didn't really need all this stuff in here, but it's welcome, all this extra gold and stuff like that. Just really surprised, how well that things have been going actually on this account. And everyone is a boosted account. Yeah, I know people are might get some comments down below about that, but that was kind of the experiment that this whole thing is in. Right, it's all about boosted accounts. It's not, it's still information that I think is important for non-boosted accounts as well. But you'll just have to keep in mind the differences of my leveling speed versus everyone else. So I am level 60, of course. Now, I want to talk about events because as I've been leveling up, especially this past week, we've had legendary event after legendary event unlocking. Now, I'm not particularly going towards any of these like directly. A lot of what I'm doing is actually just playing the events as I unlock them, as I get character shards, through orbs, through random distributions, etc. And what's really important is actually how you get a lot of mega orb fragments and thus mega orbs to open by doing these various tiers. It starts, I believe, at tier 2, where you get 750, tier 3 is 1250, and then tier 4 is a full mega orb. And this really builds up over time. But this is not something that you really need to like go out of your way to do, because this is stuff like characters that you're either farming already, or it's just random orb drops. And like I said, for Black Bolt there's Vol, but so I can carry the event with like one or two characters, because you don't need to 3-star this, you just literally need to clear it. And most of the newer characters are good enough to be able to clear this. Jubilees, for example, is tech hero characters, so I'm using this with my Pegasus character unlocks as I get stars on them as well. Also Agent Coulson from New Avengers. So my point to all of this is like, just keep an eye out for this, because there's a good way to get additional mega orbs as you go through the game. And as there's so many of them, right? Like you start getting the mega orb fragments from Nick Fury, but if you just look all the way around, Star-Lord and Iron Man do not give mega orb fragments, but everyone else does. And so it's just something to look out for. There's so many legendary events. What's weird though is that after Omega Red, because I got him at like 52 or something, and then Ebony Maw and Black Bolt appeared later. I felt that's weird given the fact that they're even more useless. But regardless, I ended up getting some Mega Orb fragments. I actually have a 3-star Ebony Maw now, and so I was able to collect quite a few Mega. In fact, we actually have one more. I don't know where that came from, actually. We have one more Mega Orb. Might have been from a level up. I think it was from my level 60. And so there's actually, I want to talk about the Mega Orbs, because I think it's actually pretty important, because it's a lot better now than it was before. Like back in the day, it was pretty garbage. Like it was like so many characters, but now it's only the top 30 characters that are newest in the game that are in here. Now, the oldest ones that exist right now, I think in the Mega Orb, are unfortunately, there's still some Invader characters and some Bifrost characters. But there is a lot of good characters, including the new characters all the way up to Hive Mind. Out of Time is not in here yet, but I've been trying to bank on like a Void Knight, which I haven't unlocked yet, unfortunately. But I did manage on my last Mega Orb able to get Forge. So I finally unlocked Forge, and now I have my 5-piece Extreme X-Men, because I've actually been able to get all of these characters through various events. Been getting additional shards from Forge from the month long, which got me a bit closer. And Sunspot being a 45 shard unlock, where he is, I did manage to get him unlocked at a 2-star level. And the Nightcrawler was kind of given away for free a bit, and he was also in the Anniversary Orb. So I was really happy about that. And then, of course, with the recent Cabal showcase, I also was able to unlock Lizard. So, yeah, there is some good characters in here that you want to pay attention to. Unfortunately, I did not get Ghost Rider Robbie unlocked yet. So that's something that I actually really, really want. I'm really far away. Like, I haven't picked up, like, any shards for him at all, which is really unfortunate. I have Miss Marvel Hardlight now. I don't actually have Photon now that I think about it. But let's see if we get anything good from this Mega Orb, and then we'll carry on. Fingers crossed. 50 shards for... So this happened to me once before. This is my second Mega Orb now with Gwenpool, which gives me an unlock for a character that I really don't really need. Don't really want to upgrade. I'm not going to bother with at this point in time. We did get 2 Sunspot shards on the side. That's it's a little bit unfortunate. But as far as how everything else has been going, honestly, it's great. I have nothing. Let's open this Anniversary Orb. I have really nothing bad to say, because the new player experience right now is probably the best that it's ever been. And I'm having a lot of fun. And I'm really enjoying all of this stuff. Now, let's talk about some things that I've unlocked recently. So for ISO 8, what I've been doing is I've just been buying through the store completely, because I find that you're getting more than enough ions, both from farming it on the nodes and from getting it from elsewhere. I don't know if it's from milestones or whatever, but I don't have a problem with the amount of ions that I have. So always buy this every single reset. As far as red stars go, I've been buying red stars selectively with the silver promos that I have, which typically come from the weekly events, the main events, which will start triggering on your account from level 50 onwards. And I've been buying up to 4 red stars for very important characters. So characters that I'm using daily, definitely my arena team and the main raid team that I'm using right now. And the raids that we're running right now is we're actually getting into Ultimate 7 this weekend. So we've managed to go through every single difficulty from Ultimate 6 onwards, and we're in Alpha 3 climbing the difficulties there as well. So I'm really impressed with my our raid progress in our alliance as well. but that's basically what I'm doing, is going up to 4-star on some of the characters that I'm using on a regular basis. That does cost 50 silver promos for a 4-star, so I would consider this selectively on the best characters in your arena team, like a Gambit or a Nightcrawler, depending on who you're using, things like that. That'll serve you in the long term. As far as my priorities for Cosmic Crucible, I think I'm probably going to wait for Ghost Rider Robbie. I managed to get an early a Mega Orb actually for Iron Man Infinity War, so I did get him unlocked, and so I do have the full Pegasus team available as well. But as far as who I think is a priority to purchase from this for new players when you get the credits for it, I think it's going to be Ghost Rider Robbie. That's what I'm going to be doing for most of mine, because I want to get Black Cat ASAP just to be able to build the Secret Defenders. And what I'm hoping by the time that the trials come back around and I'm available to start doing those would be to unlock Green Goblin Classic as early as I can. In fact, I think I'll probably end up unlocking Green Goblin before Black Cat, but we'll talk about this probably next weekend when it's more relevant to this account and it's more tangible for me able to kind of go over, depending on when the Scourges and the trials come back again. So I don't know where they are in the rotation right now, because I'm not high enough level to be able to see that. In terms of my War Store, I'm buying almost entirely Cersei shards up until 5-star, and then I have been buying a little bit of Carnage shards and Ironheart Mark II. That's it. Just those characters only for Arena. I'm entirely buying Gambit, and I'm going to do that up to 5-star. After that, I may continue to do that just because I don't think that there's any characters here of any significant value. I may pivot to try to unlock Ronan, because I am going to need him as far as for the Green Goblin Classic trial. So I probably should get him. I haven't been lucky with Mega Orbs, so I should probably at least try to get him unlocked at the 3-star. For raids, now that Craven has gone in, I went to unlock Craven. Also, I've been buying selectively some Icarus shards. After Icarus gets to 5-star, I plan on opening raid orbs, because I know that there is quite a few characters in the raid orb that I do actually want shards for, and you can get them at a cheaper rate. This might be a hot take for some, but I feel like there's enough characters in the raid orb that you do want quite a few of these, like honestly, that I would buy, but I think I'm getting it at a cheaper rate by just going through the raid orb. So that's Cyclops, Brawn, Agent Coulson, Icarus, Miss Marvel, Craven, Vulture's in there as well. So there's big time Spidey now as well. So there's enough characters in here to justify opening the raid orbs to get a wider swath of shards for that. Now, as far as the Blitz orbs go, I'm actually doing a very similar thing, and shockingly, I've been getting some pretty good luck. So as far as what's in here, now Spider Slayer is in the 10% chance, and I already have him at 4-star, even though I've basically not bought him directly. I've done entirely the Blitz Orb, and I've managed to still get him at 4-star, which is great. There's less valuable characters in this compared to the Raid Orb, but I'm not really that bothered by how fast I get the shards for these characters, because I don't need most of these right now, with the exception even Mockingbird I don't really need anymore as well. Namor is not something that's going to be a priority for new players as far as the Cabal goes, in my opinion, because it's a Cosmic Crucible team and not something you're going to be concerning yourself with in the beginning, like I mentioned when we were in Cosmic Crucible talking about that. So just something that I wanted to mention. Now, as far as where I'm at in the Arena store, I basically hit a wall. I can't really climb much more than what I have because of my team power. I may purchase Black Knight in the Strike Pass on Monday on this account, in which case there might be another conversation to have. But I mean, Black Knight's just going to run havoc in any arena shard because he's just so damn powerful. So that's going to be fun, I guess. I don't even want to fight it on it. I kind of want to, but I'm not going to do it because of the time that's in it right now. Now, what's left to talk about, I think at this point, is probably ISO 8 farming. So what am I doing with my ISO 8 farming? Well, I am trying to get my arena team to 4 ISO or green 4 ISO. After that, I'm kind of just going through the 24 energy nodes and farming this, because it has like 4 different crystals on each of them, and you only need to spend 120 energy. You also get more ions than you would from the other nodes. So that's kind of what I'm doing. If you're really desperate, what you could do is obviously go through the find button on each of the characters, and find each of the crystals individually. I'm not super concerned about how fast this is right now. I want a wider swath of collection, which is why I'm doing the 24 energy nodes. I usually get through most of these through the day, and then after that, I'll maybe farm selectively. But other than that, I am not coring that much with this because you do get a free pack every single day from your daily objective. So unless there's an event that goes live regarding this, I'm not doing that immediately for this. I am doing a couple of core refreshes still with my campaign energy. And also, I would like people to keep in mind about the 6 time to strike campaign event because there's still lots of really good stuff for you to farm. Now, more recently, I actually went into farming orange gear in advance because I'm at 60 and I'm going to start needing this at 70, and I'm not super crunched in blue and purple gear. So if you are, go back to story mode, farm that stuff. But if you're not, then maybe you want to start, thinking ahead a little bit towards orange gear, especially if you're in a boosted account, because it might just be a week or two before I get into, or maybe a week and a half before I get into orange gear. So that's something that I am deeply considering, and I don't want to be walled when I get up to that point as well. The biggest issue that I'm having right now, actually, is purple osmium. You're probably not surprised by that though. But now that I've been leveling up both, I think it's on node 1 down here, the osmium. Now that I'm leveling both Gambit and Nightcrawler at the same time, I've run into a little bit of a problem with relay. Oh, and Vol, and so a little problem with the characters that I'm upgrading, and I can't believe that I'm actually getting blocked by purple uniques. So something that I'm looking out for every single day. Make sure you're buying things that you need. The prices are really, really good. If uniques show up that you need, buy them. If there's gear that you have less than 200, 300 of, buy them because the price is super cheap compared to what it was before. It is really good and worth buying. And I don't have a gold problem yet as of now. I'm at 22 million gold. I'm not in a rush to spend it, but things are looking really good on the boosted account side of things. Let me know in the comments down below what your experiences has been, whether you're a boosted account or non-boosted account. I hope some of this helped. If you have any more specific questions in mind, both leave it in the comments down below. And also, I do have a video suggestions channel on my Discord server, so you can leave some there as well. But until next time, everybody, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday and weekend. Boilon signing out.